Hi everybody, it's Fiona Murray here from Physical Nutrition, and today we are talking about protein. I work with lots of clients in the Physical Nutrition Clinic, and I do find that most people get protein wrong. Some, I would say a very minimum amount, are eating too much protein, and the rest are not eating enough. Or they're packing a whole big pile of protein in one meal and they're not spreading out throughout the day. And that could lead to blood sugar imbalances and feeling tired throughout the day and feeling hungry all the time. So it's a really good idea to spread your protein out throughout the day. So proteins are pretty much broken down into amino acids. There's 22 amino acids that we require. 9 of them we have to get through diet. The rest we can manufacture in the body itself, but the 9 essential amino acids we must get through diet. And that's why it's very important to get those proteins in every day. For vegans and vegetarians, a lot of the plant-based proteins have some of the amino acids in them, but they don't have all of them. So we have to combine certain foods to make a complete protein. Whereas meat eaters, dairy eaters, and eggs is actually quite easy to get in your complete proteins because they're all complete proteins. They all contain all 9 of the essential amino acids. So when we have protein deficiency, there's not really an awful lot that works really well in our body. Protein is required for so many things. It's required for neurotransmission, it's required for liver detoxification, of course it's required for muscle building. My muscle, people always want, how am I getting enough protein? Some of them are just eating too much protein. But also proteins are pretty much part of so many different enzymes in our body. So they're a huge part of so many different processes. When you're not eating enough protein or you're packing it in later on the day and not getting it spread out throughout the day, you could get things like tiredness, you're hungry straight after meals, you're getting headaches, mood disorders. That's the first place I go to when I've got somebody with low mood, because proteins are a huge part of our neurotransmitters. So we definitely want them in there. A lack of protein can lead to bloating, because protein's very much involved in water balance in our body as well. So if you're getting that sort of 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon dip, then the chances are you're not eating enough protein at breakfast and lunch, and you're loading up on too many carbohydrates. So how much protein do we actually need? So the bare minimum for anyone is we need about 0.8 grams per kilogram body weight protein per day. So that is for a person that really doesn't do an awful lot of exercise. They're reasonably sedentary, they're maybe just doing some very gentle exercise. They need 0.8 grams per kilogram. So the amount of protein that we require increases with the amount of activity that we do. So the more active we are, the more protein we actually need. For example, say somebody was doing a few, fitness classes a week and they were walking every day, I would bump that up to about 1 gram per kilogram body weight protein. Say somebody was, more of a recreational runner and they were doing some strength training, I'd bump that up to 1.2. If we've got a bit more of a serious recreational runner, somebody that's training 6 days a week, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, I would bump that up to 1.4 to 1.6. And even my really heavy trainers, I'd get them up to 2 grams per kilogram body weight protein per day. So 1 gram of protein does not equal 1 gram of chicken. So when we're talking about 100 grams of protein, it does not mean 100 grams of chicken. In a 250 gram chicken breast, we have 40 grams of protein. In a 250 gram steak, we have about 50 grams of protein. In a medium-sized tin of tuna, we've got about 40 to 45 grams of protein. 100 grams of mince has got about 20 grams of protein. Pork chops, lamb chops, about 20 grams of protein. A fish fillet, about 20 to 25 grams. 1 egg, 7 grams of protein. Dairy, a good slice of cheese, you're talking about 6-7 grams of protein. When it comes to our vegetable proteins, unfortunately the protein reduces, so it is much harder to get the protein you need in a vegan or vegetarian diet. So, we're talking beans, lentils, chickpeas. So like a cup full of beans has got about 15 to 17 grams of protein in it. A pan full of nuts has got about 6 or 7 grams of protein. Chickpeas, round about the same, about the 15, 16 grams of protein mark. Peas, again, about 5 or 6 grams of protein. a good serve of tofu, you're talking about 7 or 8 grams. So as you can see, the numbers are a lot lower. So a lot of the time, my vegans, vegetarians have to resort to protein shakes if they're very, very active as well. And then, of course, we're going with body weight. So the heavier we are, the more protein we need as well. So if you're, a 120 kilo guy, you're going to need a hell of a lot more protein than a 60 kilo woman. So we have to look at it from that respect as well. But getting the protein right is very, very important. So what we need to do, say we've worked out, for example, I'm 70 kilos, but I'm very, very active. I exercise all the time. So I've calculated I need about 90 grams of protein a day. So if I'm eating 3 meals per day, I want to make it so I've got 30 grams of protein in every single meal. That means that the protein's got time to absorb. I'm not hammering it all in one go. A lot of that actually just gets, sent undigested through into the gut, and it loads up our kidneys as well. So we want to spread it out evenly throughout the day. I'm not a snacker, so I tend to do 30 grams of protein breakfast, 13 grams of protein lunch, 30 grams of protein dinner. So that's what I'm looking at spreading out throughout the day. So that's what I want you guys to think about. Where are you getting your protein? Are you all slamming it in one meal in your evening meal? Or can you spread it out throughout the day? So if you get the protein right, you're going to get blood sugar balance right, you're going to get neurotransmission right, you're going to get liver detox right, you're going to feel a lot calmer throughout the day because your blood sugar is not to be spiking and slamming into the floor. So that's protein. I hope you find that useful. I'll see you all soon. Okay, bye.